If you know who this character is, he had a very hard time in the United States. He could not seem to get a loan, and he went to court 48 times about it, and he had the whole thing imbibed in or gag ordered afterwards so no one could know what he is and what he does and how it worked. He had a very good credit score. He came here from Swadil, which is a part of former Vietnam, which is a part of what we refer to as Classona now, which they do not put on any map because it is somewhat out to sea from Vietnam. We see it. If you have any idea what the problem with this guy is, he used to be a successful businessman and ran a brewery, and when he came to the U.S. to flee, they said, you cannot receive a loan to start a new brewery, and he said, well, that's really all I know is how to run a brewery, and I was quite successful at it. He said, I can't believe you won't give me a loan for this. What happened is he went to court 48 times. It was many more than 48, but in actual court with an adjuration and jurors and things like this, because he refused to not, which is not pay for something that they said he didn't have to pay for. This is something that is known in the great state of Kentucky, and if you are not, they say you don't have to pay this, he will pay it, because he sees that this will give him a better credit score. When he had a certain amount of credit score, he says, how can you not have given me a loan? He says, this is illegal, you have to give me a loan here, and you wouldn't. He says, how come you won't give me a credit score? And they say, you cannot pay a not to have a better credit score. It would appear that this is something that no one had quite preserved for, and he said, well, I am not the one who sees it. He says, but this appears that I have seen it and that I am not what they see. When he finally went to court, they said we have to give him a loan, and they made a new type of loan up and they named it after him, and this loan is unknown to many. The characters that are used to spell it are quite difficult even. If you know anything about this, we would like to know what it says and how to read it, because it is very difficult for the average person. They have no idea how to read it. I would like to know, because from what I understand, it is quite a deal. If you know what this is, you just have to tell me. I have seen him from a number of times, and he is not in any way that we would see. He is not like the rest of them in many ways, but we keep an eye on him because he has a very mean streak to him, and he is known to beat people relentlessly. Every time he sees them, if they anger him, he is very careful about how he meets these people and how he sees them. Most of the time when we see him, he does not lose a fight, but sometimes he has been beaten until he was naked for beating someone relentlessly as he sees it. The way he is seen is that he is not of the average sight that we would see for a Vietnam. He is much stronger than they are in muscular appearance and height. We don't know what to say to this other than it would appear that he is from a different set of people. He swears he's Vietnamese, and we don't know what to see. From what we understand, he is from an older set. They said they were the Quoza, which was a part of Vietnam, and they moved to proper Vietnam eventually. We don't know what the Quoza were. He says the Quoza from an island that sank into the sea. This is quite possible. There used to be 8 islands known to Vietnam and the Vietnamese, and we don't really know about them because no one traveled to them very much. They're not that well known. If you know what this is, they had called him the Fighter, and that they saw this way, and that they named him after this character at some point in time, which is additive to being a cow. It's not like he's a coward or anything like that, that he is chewing the cud and he is always staying away. We see him like a man without reason. It is hard to say why we see this way, but it is known that this is something they do in pubs, that they name things after things, and this is where it came from, because the joke must have been truly funny. They said he was like Mike Tyson in the courtroom, and that's basically the joke. So it is what it is. We used to follow him around a little bit, and he got wise to it and started doubling back and doing all these things to try to see us. And we are quite used to this, and so we had to follow him less and less. Eventually, we decided that we would just use him. We would just use a system we had set up previously, because there were a couple that had already deciphered this, and apparently some of them share this information that they are followed by us just a little bit. This one in particular, he has been hard to find when he has moved to a new area because he has done it in secret. This is something that is known that some people do, but he has done things that most people would never do to remain hidden from the public that we see, and that's weird. We know that he was part of a gang, in this underground gang, which was made illegal by the Viet Cong, naturally. Everything they did was illegal one day, and no matter what, they were at the other side of the Viet Cong. So they became secret, and when they became secret, they came up with programs. And if you know anything about the programs of Vietnam, this is something they did, and they did it for a long time. Just to blend in, they would try to be like this or try to be like that. They would never show a single sight. And someone knows this, that they will build an entire, I think the word is compound, and then never show anyone. They will make sure that the compound remains hidden to just the people that are in their confluences. The problem with this man is that he knows that there are 22 people that we knew that knew the programs of Vietnam, so he has struggled to remain hidden from us. And this is something that probably must have upset him a great bit, because he knows this means that he lost. And they know this too. And if you read up on the Vietnam War and how it actually goes, there's an amazing amount of information, and that the Viet Cong traced back their lineage charts so they could see them, and that did not work as well either. But we see a way they never see. It would appear that he has decided that he will become some sort of a bodybuilder, wrestler, and that he has foregone his regular aspect of being a kick fighter, which is something that is known to Vietnam, because the men in the United States are somewhat more muscular and baragulent, as he sees it, which is harder to beat. To us, he was one of the people that we thought would become some way, and it would appear that he has fallen, and that he is only going to self-include, and this means that one day he will not be what he is anymore, but for now, he is what he was, the way we see it, the on mic. I was worried for a very long time that he had something up his sleeve. He is the only one of all these people that is not an heir, and I know this doesn't seem right, because he does have an heirhood, but it will not come, and we know that it will not come because of the way he was, because of the Viet Cong and all these other details, and this is something we don't see it. That he was a Kobe. If you have any idea why we would put this way and not see it the correct way, it's because we see, and we see that he must not see that we see, and this is something we must not know to him, that we saw what he was, that he was a Kobe, and this is something that we don't know how he might react to, that he is not a Sink. We have many more things to say about him, but most of it's just originy or unimportant. He used to work out with a man, and this man was very Chinese, and this man is also known to be sort of a freedom fighter type, and we don't trust him at all. And he knows the programs of Vietnam, and we wondered what exactly is it that these two have in common, and it might be that they were from a program together, and that Chinese was in fact, as many say, on both sides of the war, and it was trying to figure out where a specific group was. This has happened under multiple occasions. The Chinese show interest in every side until they figure out where their target was. We don't know how to see it, because this is something only the Chinese are known to do, and they call it fazai. he used to hang out with this one, and this one is just like a. I think the word's mariachi, but mariachi dancer? Apparently, he decided at one time to become a bodybuilder, and this is pretty much the only thing these men seem to have in common is that they're bodybuilding. And he seems to prefer the ones that are gay. I can't explain it. When he met up with this man, whom we see as this way, we see him that is not a way we see. If you know anything about this character is not smart. He only fight. And no matter what, why would he like him? But apparently, him being a good fighter is important enough to see it. Josh was someone we don't see. And no matter what, Josh was someone they see. And apparently these two got along quite well, swimmingly or famously even. And we can't explain it to anyone. Maybe he was well as a Kobe and they see him. The one that we knew that he sees this way was someone that we didn't know. They apparently studied the same martial art, and that's the only thing we can see between them. Maybe they were both Kobe. He hated the one we see. This one is known to be someone we don't see, that we know of, that sees some of the ones we see. Its appearance to us is quite befouling, or like an orangutan. I can't explain why he sees this one with such hatred, but apparently this one has angered him in such a way, like a ugly kite. This one appears to be on the opposite side of his war. We can't explain why this one sees this way we see, but it would appear that they are on the polar opposites of an idealism that no longer exists. And we see this, a purple-bellied snail sun. I don't know how he knows who this is. This one isn't anyone to many people, but he knows exactly who it was, and he said he was the queen of cream souffle shit. I don't know why he liked Ken for a short time, but then he decided he disliked him a great deal. He's a clown. He's a clown in outer space that only eats the cream of seed. Nikali, he says this man is less than people. He says apparently he can't count the judgment of a sleeve that is looser than a wizard's. We had no idea that him and Sagat had in fact broken up, but it would appear that they are no longer friends and that they are now quite brutal rivals or enemies. No one is sure what has made them so angry. It might be that he was gay now. He was a fool. A purple-bellied sun's great slide. Great sliding pole. We know that he was a part of a group, and this is a different group, and he hates the secret society. And whatever the secret society is, they hate him more. Apparently, he's worse than that. And he's the gun of a corpse. And apparently what he sees is not as good. Little Pit. The way he hates Chun-Li is most normal. To him, she is just an idiot. A real Chinese. He cannot stand that Cammy was allowed to live at some point in time, that he saw her pass by. The one who survives piss stare cunt. I don't know. He never liked Ryu very much as opposed to Ken, but apparently Ryu has no ability to him. He thinks that Ryu's ability is in fact only service or servitude. A real Japanese servant. He has met Akuma 2 times, and every time they were about to brawl, and they decided that now is not the time because they are specific in their places. This one may have to have seen it, and this appears to be the case. From what we understand, they will fight at some point in time, but only when it is right for them. And he has called him the swollen pustule of a bygone era that simply pissed instead of popped. He was in several movies, and we don't see a way that they see when they see it. Of course not. And this was, we see that he is somewhat like himself, but usually he's just a bad guy that's trying to take over the world. When we made the EX series, we tried to reinvent him. We tried to make him new and see a way he sees. And it didn't go over quite like we wanted it to, because he is not exactly like the way we see. Because if we see this way, he will know we are looking at him, and we don't want him to know we are looking directly at him. This is something we have always maintained to the best of our ability. Some people don't see it though. And we wanted him to know that he must not know who we were. And this is something we tried to make unapparent, and apparently we thought it was too obvious. This is something we've done on multiple occasions, that we just make this mistake, which is an idiot's fool to us, and we don't see this way. After we had made this, we said, I don't know, this seems too much like him. And they said, I don't think it seems like it. It seems like the same thing to me. It's just a different pastel or shade to it. He says, no, we've changed his characterization rather dramatically. And this is something we've known to do from time to time, that he was now a queest, or someone that is in court. Do you know why he's in court? And this is something we see in the game at some point in time, and they said, oh, you can't do that, man, you gotta cut that. And he said, if we cut it, you're gonna change the character. And they said, well, why'd you want to change the character? And he said, it's because we're trying to reinvent the series somewhere. This is something we've known to have been done. Anyways, it went over okay, and we just didn't like it just the same, and so now we're just like, okay, well, we're just gonna put a pin in that and bury it, and there won't be any more EX. We'll have to redo the whole thing again, and that's the way we see it. Goalless, and something is known to have been said, which means nothing can defeat me in my way. You're a slave to puppets. I am the one who has more power than they have ever guessed. I guess no one will know that he was nothing but a man we see in the courtroom, because he is not intelligent. Intel. I said to him before he left, I said, why don't you know what we see? And he said, I'm the one who sees it. We made him again in this game, and he was just the same as usual. It wasn't anything special, but we liked this one. In this game, he was naturally a character from the earlier one, and it was new. And we thought this is probably a better one than the one before. And they said, "Oh, this one's okay. I like this one." Most people approved. This is a continuance of the previous one. It was probably better than that one, but we see a way that it was pretty good. We didn't care for this one as much. Many of the designs in this one were not as good. They were quite upset with its performance as well. When we put him in this one, we thought that this is a great matchup for him, because many of these characters are in some ways similar, and now we don't know what way we see. Because they were. We made this one, we thought, yes, this is the one he should be in, and we thought that this is better fit for him than our game, and that this is pretty much it, and that he would see this way that when we see it. I don't know how to explain this, but apparently no one thought that he was important in this game, and this is the only game we thought that he was a very good match for, and no one seems to understand the way we see it, and that's normal for us that they don't see it. And apparently this is exactly how it goes, and I don't know how to explain this, but if you know what it is, this is the only one where he's like he is. And I guess most people won't understand that we don't see this way when we see it. If you have any idea what I see, we can't quite take into account some of the things he's done. He was in this one, we thought it was a good joke because he's not like they were. If you have any idea what this one is, in this one they see each other the right way, and it's not like it was, but it was like the way we see it. In this one, he appears to see a way we don't see, which is the way we see it, and we always wanted to make him look this way, but not like the way we see it, which is the way we don't see. We put him in this one because he felt like the right villain for these people, and we don't know why someone thought this was a good match, but apparently it was. And this movie is just basically the outlaw rival of who they were, but no, and he plans to take over the world. When we made it, we're like, yeah, let's just do this one. They wanted to do the anime because they knew it would sell in the United States, and at the time it turned on a VHS, which we put through Suncoast, which was a good company at the time, and they didn't steal from us yet, and now you see why. We know exactly what it was, and they finally knew that they don't see why we see it any longer, because they were a thief in the night with sugar on their lips. In Street Fighter V, he is going to see a way he sees now that he has his loan, and we don't know how to exactly color this, but what he has done is he has gone into kinetics in some way, and he has decided that he runs a bodybuilding competition and many other things, and we just can't display this the way we want it to. But we will in time. It'll be the way we see it. And then it'll be what we say, no, or something. You know what this is? This is the way we see it. When we made this movie, we thought, okay, well, we thought it wouldn't be that good, but we got Raul Julia, and he did an examine job of this character, and we thought this Raul Julia is far more personable than he ever was, and we thought, well, now it won't be like him, and we thought, yeah, well, now we can do what we want to, because it's nothing like he was any longer, and this is what we see it. Even though Raul Julia died shortly thereafter, after doing another film or two, we thought, oh man, this is absolutely outstanding, because this made the film somewhat watchable, because it wasn't a very good film, and we know that even though it had Bruce Lee or whatever his name is in it. So we see this way when we see these things, and you know that we only like the one who is named Chinese or something, and that's how we see these things. And if you don't know why we only see that once, because he is the heir to someone we don't see as well, and we see him that way because now he is it. This film was absolutely atrocious to many of us, and we didn't enjoy its copyrights or anything to it. We don't know how they managed to screw this thing up. Everything about this thing is bad, from the soundtrack to the animation and everything. We don't like it very much, and we just tell everyone this is not the good one we see, and to watch something else or to play the game. And in this one, he is just a bad guy that floats through the wall and beats things up, and he disappears, and it's like, okay, nothing like that. And he's just some sort of an apparition in some way. We can't explain it. Why did they have to make it like this? No one understands it. This is how it is. We have seen this many times when they animate things that are, I don't know who sees it. What they see, I guess, I don't know. Power Rangers, Legacy Wars, Street Fighter Showdown. This is something only released in Japan, and you would know why if you see it's a joke. If you have any idea why we see this one, it's because this one has some extra information that we don't usually release, and this is the one we see it these days. We had some comics. They usually don't have any more information than we were releasing. We try to make sure that the comics stay true to whatever systematic bullshit we were on at the time. And this comic is indeed dreck. It is nothing like we would ever make it because it has no sense of value to it as we designed it. We made this because I guess we made this. I don't know who made this. It's not any good. Why did we make it? We made this one because we thought it was fresh and cover, and we thought this great artist is, and ain't good either. We made a series, and we thought this series would be good for quite some time. And when it came out, it was good for a year, and then the quality dropped off. We knew this would happen. They made us a promise that it would be good for up to a decade before the quality dropped, and this is normal. And they said it'll be a while before it drops off. Apparently it didn't do as good in the market, so they dropped the quality of it. You don't understand this works in manga. They sell you drawings. It's quite apparitionated. If you know anything like we do, the ones that have good drawings sell. And this is always the way it was. It just takes more time to do every single frame. And this is something we know, and that's why Guts always sold good, because he put more time into it. And it was a two-man show, and that's why Guts is good, and that's why Guts sold. Guts was even a money maker, and this thing, compare other things to it, and they're not as good as Guts. And Guts was nothing. We know Guts is nothing, and that's why we see it as a good way, because it's not what we see, which is a good way. You know anything about that? Well, we know that this is something we see, and we say, this one, it's not any good, it's okay, it's whatever. You know, it had some storyline to it, and it's sort of interesting because the guy rewrote some of the storyline, so it was sort of counterintuitive and interesting. He didn't know what we do, and when we go over, it's just like, this ain't it, and we see it as a bullshit act, and we go, well, it's just that bullshit, and we don't see it. When we made like 100 of these, I don't know, after 3 or 4 years, we're like, yeah, we're gonna cap it. He says, okay, I'm good with that. When we decided to shut it down, they said, well, we want to do another few, but they don't want to do the high-end drawings to us, so I can't explain what they want, but I said I'd offer to you just the same. We said no. They came back again and again, and we said, well, if you're going to do a new one, you're going to do the good drawings, and then they were forced to accept no, which is what it was all along. When we were with Archie, we did Archie comics for a while. We said, you want to do Street Fighter? And they did it for a while. And it was pretty good. They had so many artists that didn't do good work. And we don't see it, but you understand. So what happened is when we brought these guys in, we just like, okay, here's what it is. And they would just draw and draw and draw, and none of it was good. Like, was these guys from the underworld or something? And nobody would ever answer us because it was probably true. They were probably getting paid nickels in the United States and kept up because they were just not that intelligent. But they wouldn't do the drawings. They wouldn't do them good. We made a couple of these, and we thought this would sell, but it didn't do that well outside of Denmark for some reason. Denmark thought it was something, and nobody else did. So as you know, this one was a loser as well. This is something we did for a while. We made these dramas on CD, and this is something only known to outer Japan, and we said this is not a way we see anymore, and it was not that great. We made a game, and this game is very strange because it's not like anything we do anymore. If you have played the game, you know that his style is based off Landrita, which was no longer a way they see it in the Royal Kingdom. And it's because this style is somewhat similar to the Hinkoiko Chavai that used to be in Vietnam before they were massacred and genocide gauged by the then Viet Cong, then Chinese, then Abaquilian, or as we see it, Intrico. His moves are unique and they are supposed to be colorful, as many are, and we try to make them bright and obvious because of the way we see it, and then you can block it or react to it or counter it, and this is how we try to see it. It's always this way, and you see it. When we make this game, we try to make sure that he is unique enough so that he always has the best Aism, as we see this way. Knew anything more about him, you should know that this is not exactly how he fights, but it is not completely indifferent. So if you have to actually fight him, you might see a way, but then again, we try to make this obvious. We must know that you know that this is something you might run into in the actual reality, and that this guy is some sort of a fighter, and we must see it. We made these very many times, and we love to do this one. We love to do the art for it and design it so that it is very powerful and delivers a crushing blow to them. Even if they block it, they take damage to their block on their life bar. This one in particular has gone down as being belligerent in some ways, and we see that it is the one that we see, or however powerful it is. We made it so many times. We made it 38 times at least, and we love to do the Psycho Crusher drawings to see a way we see it. When M. Bison first came out, we tried to make him a secret hidden character. After that, we decided he was a regular part of the game and not to see a way we don't see him. This is something we should have kept for a while because we like this idea, but now we don't see it. Now they are DLC and you pay extra $5 for 2 characters or something, and we don't like it. We wish it was different, but this is the way the community is supporting it now. We see the way this is, which is not great. It's called an bison. And bison is a loan. If you have a good credit score, you say, I want it in bison. They have to buy you a plot of land with a house on it, a new truck, and enough money to buy a hotel and run it. And but not forever. And they make this loan to you, and it's called an embizona. And if you qualify for it and you get it, well, that's the way it goes. And it's for him because he had to see a way. I think I might get one myself because things just aren't going that well for me. I think I might be able to make a go of it if I just have the right amount of funding. Who knows? Who knows? There's many other details, such as proving you are not a foreign national and things like that, but it is what it is.